I'm Oliver Pick.
I'm Julius Gomez.
I'm Naomi Schmidt.
And I'm Alexa Maline.
According to Oxford Dictionary, gender roles are the role or behavior learned by a person as appropriate to their gender, determined by the prevailing cultural norms. This means that society treats women and men differently, simply because of their gender. People will determine how smart, fashionable, artistic, tough, and polite a person is just by their gender and the way they present it.
We are Quality Equality, and our project focuses on the UN sustainability goal of gender equality. The question we asked ourselves is this: how are gender inequalities prevalent here in Ventura? We think that here in Ventura, gender inequalities are prevalent in the workplace and schools and in the form of discrimination and difference in pay.
People learn these roles throughout their entire lives and follow them consciously and subconsciously. For example, stereotypically you will never see a man wearing a dress or a woman wearing a suit. You rarely see men wearing makeup or women presenting masculinely. Most of the time, men are seen as breadwinners, while women are seen as mothers without jobs. These are all the gender roles of society, and although they may be changing, they are still an issue that is prevalent in every person's life. In this documentary, we will go over gender roles' significance in society, seeing how it starts from parents to their children, how it is learned from pop culture, and how significant it is to Ventura. We will also see professionals' views on gender roles. Sit back and learn how much of an issue gender roles are in your town.
Every single person experiences gender roles and feeling the need to act a certain way because of their gender. This topic affects everyone, no matter who they are and whether they know it or not. It is important to educate people on this. It is a current topic in world events and is happening in society and even in Ventura today. This is something that actually matters. Gender roles are toxic to society and everyone experiences them. From the time an infant is taken home from the hospital and is dressed in blue clothes with trucks or pink clothes with sparkles and frills, they are conforming to the gender roles of society. Parents have a huge role in their children's lives. According to this website, although some of it does have to do with testosterone and estrogen, kids whose parents don't force them to conform to gender roles are more open and less conforming to them later in life. In a typical society, gender roles have a huge effect. Parents treat baby girls and baby boys differently. According to Benjamin Spunk at World of Health, parents tend to respond to a girl infant crying faster than a boy infant crying, which eventually morphs into boys and men thinking that they cannot cry at all. Typical parents raise boys to be rough and strong and independent, while they raise girls to be pretty, vulnerable, and respectful. There are boys and girls sections in stores. People have literally made different colors and patterns for girls and other colors and patterns for boys. People even associate different jobs with genders, like girls as nurses and boys as doctors. Everything from behavior and attitudes to activities and jobs and clothing.
There's a lot of information on how gender inequalities can affect everyone, and what forms it can take. In the workplace, it can come in the form of a difference in pay, and discrimination of which gender can do which jobs. This graph shows that men are paid more than women at almost every education level, especially with higher education levels such as professional and doctoral degrees. Not only are there discriminations in our workplace, but also in our government.
Gender inequalities can also be seen in our government, both local and national. In Ventura County alone, 28% of our council members are female. This shows that females are not a big part of our government. On a bigger scale, only 20% of our Congress members are female. This is just further stating the fact that women are undertreated when it comes to the government and politics in general. We need to start to fix these numbers to make them get as close to an even 50-50 as possible.
Although we know that gender roles are a huge problem in society today, there is, however, a counter-argument. Phyllis Schlafly is a woman who was against having equal rights. She said that if we did have equal rights, then the court system would no longer favor the mother when trying to get custody over a child. Also, she stated that if this were going to happen, women would begin to be drafted into war. But in the court, shouldn't the man and woman have an equal chance to gain custody over a child? Why should the mother get to keep the kid and not the father? Phyllis Schlafly died 2 years ago, and her statement still lives on today. So what she said is a point of view that is obviously still shared by many people. Why else would we not have equality between genders? There has to be some people who are still against this idea.
Our team name is Quality Equality, and we are addressing the United Nations Sustainability Goal of gender equality. When creating this project, we had to ask ourselves, is gender inequality really an issue in Ventura? And the answer is yes. Not only does it affect people in Ventura, in California, in the entire United States, and it isn't just something that happens in other countries. It affects each and every member of society, and that is why it is so important that it doesn't get ignored.
We have successfully proved our hypothesis that gender inequalities are prevalent in the workplace and schools and in the form of discrimination and difference in pay. From talking to other people and doing extensive amounts of research, we know for sure that gender roles are hurting our society, but we are getting better. We learned just how relevant this topic is today to every single person in Ventura County and everywhere. Without gender roles, we would be so much closer to complete equality and love for all humans without judgment. After doing all of our research and collecting data from our interviews, we have come up with a conclusion and found out that our hypothesis proved true. In the government, most of our council and Congress members are male. Also, in jobs, we found that if a female and male have the same degree and same job under the same company, most of the time the woman is paid less. This is a big problem, and we need to stand up and fight for equal rights between genders. We need to break free from the confinements of gender roles and be ourselves.